and we'll get started. Here we go. Hey, I'm Chef Dennis, and I'm here with Renee, and we're around the kitchen table cooking vegan style. And Renee's cooking up a delicious vegan potato soup today. So, let's take it away. It's all yours.
Okay, it's I just did a Facebook video to talk about the show, and I have been making this soup for people since 1986.
Wow.
I know. Yes. So I worked in several restaurants and delis like all at the same time. Mm-hmm. And this is one of my signature soups that I made when I was there. So it is super simple to make non-vegan, but then when I became vegan, it was one of the first things that I easily adapted to be dairy-free. Yeah. And at first it was just dairy-free. I still used the butter because butter didn't seem to bother anyone, but the dairy did. Mm-hmm. So there you have it. The first thing that I'm going to do in this recipe is roast the vegetables that I will top the soup with. So remember, Chef Dennis, when I said you're going to be so excited by what I had? Aren't these beautiful?
I love them.
Look at this. Ugh.
I just, that's how carrots used to be. People don't realize that in the old back when vegetables just grew before we started screwing with them, a lot of them were all different colors. Mm-hmm. Someone decided that carrots should all be orange and tomatoes should all be red, and we got used to that. But those are wonderful,
and they should all be the same size,
pretty much.
But this is great, and you're going to see why I picked. I was going through. Of course, I'm a crazy lady in the produce station. I'm going through them, picking out, and the guy's like, "Can I help you? They're carrots." I'm like, "Oh no, they're not carrots. They're friends with the potato soup." So I'm sure he thought I was a nutcase. And after all, I did buy them in Ann Arbor, so it would not be unusual for people to be talking to their vegetables there. But I'm going to keep these because I'm going to make stock.
Oh yeah.
So then what?
Have you ever made a pesto out of the carrot greens?
I'm not making a pesto this time. I'm sorry.
Have you made it using carrot greens before?
Yeah, the one that I made, the gnocchi pesto had.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so that one had it in there too. So these carrots are just so easy to peel. Mm-hmm. Now, they are organic, so if I were to juice them, I would not even bother peeling them. But since I want them to look a certain way, one, and two, I need the peels for stock. Mm-hmm. I'm doing it this way, but can you?
I know.
Beautiful.
I had them in a salad, the purple ones, and Lisa had no idea what they were. She thought I was trying to feed her something funky. She said, "It's a carrot."
Well, remember what I said last week? Or maybe was it? Well, I don't know. I probably say it every week. When we pair something familiar with the unfamiliar, you get kids to eat it more readily. So that is why I wanted to make sure that I had these yellow carrots, because some of the multicolored carrots did not have orange carrots in them. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to make sure that I had the yellow or
orange ones.
Yes, I can't say orange while I'm peeling yellow, right? So then that way the kids will see the typical orange, and then they won't even think twice about the purple or the yellow. Right.
They actually have like a creamy white one too.
And then the fennel remember last time we just cut the top off, and then I'm going to use these for the stock. I have a stockpile, and
you really have a stockpile. Oh my God.
A stockpile, yes. And I'm taking the outer edge off of this because when I traveled, my fennel took a beating. Let's just say traveling was not nice to my fennel. And I'm just chopping these. It doesn't really matter because I'm roasting them. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to zoom them with the emulsifier. So it doesn't matter how I cut them, but what matters is that they're all the same thickness. And, you know, sometimes I take out that core. I'm not even doing it because they're roasted. So they'll be beautiful. And then, so I have this garlic. Mm-hmm. I'm just putting that on the tray. I'm going to give it a quick rinse. And some of these are coming off already. So I just kind of clean it up just a little bit, and I'll put that on the tray. What else did I need? Oh, a couple of, you know, so in the garage, from my CSA, I get tons and tons of onions. Mm-hmm. And I don't use them right away. So I made this little cellar, a root cellar in my garage out of cardboard boxes. And why am I doing it that way? So these are from there. So these onions, I've not bought onions since how long? I mean, when did the last I think the CSA ended in October.
Wow.
So these onions, and they're beautiful. You know, they have a little bit of gunk on them. So I'm just going to rinse those off a little bit. And then this stock, I'm going to, did I just say that? I'm going to rinse the whole stock off.
No, okay.
I'm going to rinse everything that I'm putting into the stock today. Mm-hmm. I'm going to kind of rinse off because it just seems like there's a little too much dirt on like the carrots and the things like that. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So onions. Let's check my list. Fennel, carrots, onions, garlic. I'm good. So that's what my pan looks like. Carrots, fennel, onions. The garlic will just be off to the side. Since I have the onion going or oven going, I've already done some beets. Mm-hmm. And then the oven's at 425. And I'm going to put these in for 30 minutes. Okay. They may be done before then. I'm also putting in 4 baked potatoes because I'm running out of food at night. You know, because we have the first dinner where everybody sits down, mm-hmm. and then we have like maybe a second dinner if people come back from practices and things. And then oftentimes after homework and showers, they're hungry again. So the kitchen is open like at 5, at 7, and then again at 9.
Wow.
It's crazy.
It's like you're running a restaurant there.
I know. If only I got some tips from it, right?
There you go.
Okay, so I'm making 2 potato soups today. Okay. The reason I'm making 2 potato soups is because I have my kids like celery, but they don't like the celeriac root or the celery root. Mm-hmm. So I like my soup the way I like my soup, and they like theirs the way they like theirs, and it's easy enough to make 2 pots. So mine will have my pot will be the blue pot.
Mm-hmm.
And I will have put onions in here. And then I'm going to put garlic in, but I found this.
Mm-hmm.
It's garlic.
Wow.
And so I won't go into too much detail because I know far too much about this. So if I take this guy off and I were to plant him,
mm-hmm.
I would get, this would grow up to be your garlic scape. And then you would take your garlic scapes and do whatever you wanted with them, right? To cook with them. If you let your garlic scape go longer, it gets that purple flower on top.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that?
Yes.
So that purple flower, all of those nubs in that purple flower or that purple top, it looks almost like a chive.
Mm-hmm.
Those can be planted to make little garlic bulbs.
Ah.
So every year I plant probably about 300 garlic bulbs. So I wouldn't plant this if it's, I could plant it now. I may actually plant it with the ginger. And then this will grow to be into more garlic. It's crazy. Yeah.
Nature's crazy. Yes, it is.
And the reason I'm roasting garlic and putting it in the pan is because I like those layers of flavor. And the kids do too. So the kids are going to get a little hunk of garlic in theirs, in their pan. Okay, so I'm going to start. I'm going to add a little bit more onion to that because you know that's not enough onion for me.
Now those are your two stocks, correct?
These are the these will be the two bases for the soups.
Okay.
Yes. And I just throw a little olive oil in there from Trader Joe's. And I have one kid that's sort of opposed to onion. So I don't not give it to her because it like goes against my heritage, right? So I put less in, and that's kind of how we roll with that. So theirs will have just a tiny bit of, and these look like garlics, but they're not. They're like purple shallots that I'm putting in here. Okay. All right. So those are good.
All right.
Okay. So this is a celery root, and this is celery. And so to get celery, you lop it off of the celery root. And then this stays in the ground. If you leave this in the, if you have an organic farm and you leave this in the ground, you grow more celery.
Okay. So
you can get, until this gets mushy and gross, or until the season is over, you can get, if you're a home gardener, you can get more than, a bunch of heads of celery from one celery root.
I did not know that. I didn't know that.
So, yes. And if you take this celery, and once you cut it down to here, if you put it in water, it will grow more celery.
No way.
Yes, way. It's true. Check my Instagram. You got to go way, way, way back. But yes, it's true. Yeah, I wouldn't lie to you, Chef.
Well, I believe you. I was just surprised.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's really, when I started really paying attention to how to grow my own food and how to be more sustainable, it was nuts.
I have a friend that tells me every time I lop off the top of a pineapple to plant it out back because it'll grow a pineapple bush.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. Okay, so so this is the celery root. I just lopped off the top of it, and then I cut the base off. And it looks like that. Looks kind of cool. Yeah. And then I just follow it around with my knife. So this is how I cut oranges. This is how I cut the pineapple.
I was so proud of myself yesterday. I peeled ginger with your method.
Yay! What did you put ginger in?
I made tangerine beef.
Oh, I saw that.
Which was excellent. But I used the ginger and I'm peeling. I'm like, oh my God, this is so easy.
I know. So will you use ginger more now?
Yes.
You know, as we get older, it's really important for us to use ginger more.
Lisa wasn't fond of it. Yeah, Lisa wasn't fond of it, but I think she'll start to get used to it the more I use it because it's never been one of my favorite spices, but I enjoyed it last night.
Okay. So in my pot is onions, celery root, and garlic. Now the potatoes are I like to use butter potatoes or yellow potatoes, and they're not organic. I don't think they're not buttery toasting potatoes. The other brand that I get sometimes is the Yukon Gold potatoes. I don't have I like the yellow color because it gives it a creamier look.
Yeah.
Than if you use the white baking potatoes, right?
Yeah,
so it's part of it is the flavor, but not that much.
Do they seem quite as starchy either?
These do seem starchy. The potatoes that I found that aren't as starchy are the red skin potatoes and the purple fingerlings and the butter fingerlings. Okay. I think like the smaller the potato, the less starchy they are.
That makes sense.
But that could also be that I don't boil red skin potatoes. I only roast them. Right?
Yeah, I only boil potatoes if I'm making mashed potatoes. And now that I have a steamer, I may start steaming them too. I don't know.
I have that Cuisinart, the Cuisinart that I have, the slow cooker.
Slow cooker.
That is a steamer as well. And so I do steam a lot of my vegetables in that because we go through so many. Or when I get a CSA haul in that has like a ton of something, I will just steam, and then have bags or however I'm freezing it down, just right there ready to go. Kind of blanching before you. Now these potatoes, I want to wish you could smell that.
I know. Oh my God. That's the next feature we need to start getting on live streaming is smell-o-vision.
Yeah, I need a blab smell-o-vision show.
Oh, we just don't want Apple to develop it first because they will call it I smell.
I smell. Nice. And for my soup, I am using, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For the other soup, I will keep cutting. I probably won't do it while we're here, but I would keep cutting until I have enough potatoes to fill the pot, because they were very excited to see that the cooking show was potato soup. And then one thing about Target vegetable broth is that every time the little thing comes out, so I get to, so I just jab it. And then I'm using one whole carton of vegetable broth. And the onions were starting to caramelize a little bit, but I didn't want them to get too brown because I don't want brown bits in my soup.
Yeah.
So I kind of get them to sweat a little bit and get some flavor coming out and let the oils of the onions kind of, as soon as you smell the onion in the pan, you know that the oils have come out and you can kind of turn it down.
That's got to be one of the best smells, frying onions. Oh.
Okay. So that, I didn't turn the veggies have been in maybe 10 minutes now.
Okay.
We'll go with that.
Oh, the oven. Yes.
So we'll give them another 15 and go from there. Okay. So where am I? Oh, so I add the potatoes, I put the broth in, then I bring that to a boil. Now while they're boiling, that's when I add in, I think I'm done over here. So I'm wearing my grandmother's apron today. Can you believe it?
Your picture looks so much better today.
Really?
Yeah, the one, I mean, they're both very clear. It could just be the weather. It could be a number of things, but they're both nice.
It's kind of funny because I didn't do the Thunderbolt cable this morning.
Yeah, they look great today.
I'm so glad do you like my mini cleavers when I'm talking and cleaving at the same time?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to add a little bit of salt to this, and some pepper, which was right here. Oh. Okay. So while this is coming up, I guess I shouldn't. Oh, we'll leave it there since it's a pretty picture. So exciting news, Chef Dennis. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
My local CSA has asked me to help them with their private Facebook group that will be just for CSA members. And then, because I'll be doing that, I will have another cooking show that is how to cook just with the CSA share that I get for that week.
Great. Excellent.
So, some things, like cabbage or onions, you can kind of stockpile and have in the cellar. So, thanks, Grammy. Thanks for stopping by. So, I'm not cleaning up because I'm making soup stock. I think she missed that part. So that is going to be a super fun show for people who get CSAs or who see these random things. And I mean, they're not so crazy, but if you see like a watermelon radish in the store and you don't know what the hell it is, you probably are not going to buy it and try it and see if you like it or don't like it. So this will give me the opportunity to talk about, you use all my, plant-based nutrition stuff to talk about nutrition, what it does for you, what it doesn't do for you. And I'm trying to figure out like a chart to have like the vegetables and then like what fruits are what it is, the vegetable, and then what nutrients it has in it, and have that and update that. So it would be like thanks. It will be an ongoing like nutritional class on the stuff that you get every day and that grows local to the Midwest. And if it grows local to me in the middle of nowhere, then it will be, then it will be a great resource, not only for the people locally, but for, everyone else who eats a carrot. The difference is it'll be real time, right? So in July or beginning of August, you'll get this awesome gazpacho recipe, right?
Right.
Because gazpacho's, that's when it comes out. And I'm hoping that I can get some of the places that I've worked with before to kind of come on board, and maybe like Zingerman's will show me how they make their gazpacho, and so I can like take the show on the road.
Well, that's what you need to do, is go over to them and do a show with them, and also start getting someone ready to start cooking too. Like I help bring you along, bring someone else along, and then you can be a co-host for them, and let's just keep training more culinary people. And show,
wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, and let them know you don't have to be afraid to be on camera.
Right, exactly. So there is a woman in town, and she's affiliated with the Jamie Oliver's Food Revolution.
Yeah.
So she does that. So I'm hoping that I can either get her to come in the kitchen with me and do a show, or and the farm that I'm working with is excited about doing some shows as well. And I'd also like the kids to get involved in cooking, because I think it's hard to tell a kid to eat healthy if they don't know where their food comes from.
Yep.
I mean, it's impossible. And I wrote about this in the blog post that I posted today, which was, I'm a little behind, so it was salad. And I talk in there I touch a little bit on be the role model, because you can't hold someone accountable to something that you're not willing to do yourself.
Absolutely true.
So, and that goes with not just vegetables, that goes with like smoking and drinking, and I mean, I love a good beer, and I love a good bottle of wine, but I let my kids know that, and it's kind of a joke now that like the kids have to plan a hat. If I'm doing a pickup, especially for the high school boys, they'll be like, Joseph, if we want your mom to pick us up, you got to call her now, because she's gonna have a drink right after dinner. And so one night this summer, I was doing the pickup for Six Flags. It was late at night. It was 9:30, and then I knew as soon as I was supposed to pick up 2 boys, and there were like 6 walking towards the car. I'm like, okay, now I'm thinking in my head, breakfast. Do I have enough stuff? Because I know all these boys are going to be sleeping over. And that was a big joke on the way home. Like, how many minutes will it be before I get in the car or get in the house before I open the beer or whatever I was drinking? But as much as I thought that odd that they would tease me about that, I also felt good that I was actually a really good role model.
Yes.
Right? Yes. That I didn't pull up half in the bag and, whatever.
You didn't have a little brown bag next to you in the car.
Well, the thing that they do now, moms do, is they have their vodka whatevers in sippy cups.
Oh, yeah.
So that the cop comes in and they see sippy cups there.
Yeah.
You have gin and tonic and water bottle. Nice, Grammy. All our secrets are coming out, I'm glad. But no, I'm not a big drinker driver. But because I was like helping a friend clean out the car, and she was like, "Oh, that's my sippy cup," and I'm like, "Okay, whatever." And then I put the pieces together later that's what they do, and of course you weren't, Grammy. I wouldn't. I'm sorry I suggested that. And it's just a whole different culture because I had my kids 10, 15 years after into my 40s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a completely different mindset than the moms who are 10, 15 years younger than me.
Well, I was in high school when Twist Tops came out. And I was in the 60s. And the first thing I realized was I could pour half the 7-Up out and fill the rest with vodka and walk on the boardwalk with a bottle of 7-Up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, because before that, they were all Pop Tops.
Yeah. Yeah. You couldn't do that with a screw top, though. You could fill it up and then walk around and just have a bottle of soda and no one would think anything.
Yeah, I got to give you props for that, Dennis.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
Of course, anymore, I have a drink and I go to sleep, so it's rare.
So this is like the best tool in my house.
I love it
because I use this for soup. I use it for applesauce.
Mm-hmm.
When I make preservatives in the summer, which I only make up maybe 12 wide mouth pint jars of jams, because we usually go through one a month.
Yeah.
I used to make them up and give them away, but then I realized people don't really use homemade jams. So I stopped doing that, and just decided to make 12 for our family. And for a long time, I was into preserving and canning, and I mean, that's how I grew up. So when I went back, guacamole's on my counter, Grammy. That's my lunch. Because guacamole is so yummy, and it's not, because I'm Fitbitting it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not as, does not have as many calories as a lot of other things. Amazingly so.
I use mine.
Anyway, so
I use mine for I buy number 10 cans of Italian tomatoes that I make my marinara out of, and I just pop the top off, but they're whole tomatoes, and I don't feel like squishing them with my hand, so I just use my immersion blender up and down in the can and crush them all, puree them all up that way.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I had one of those. We had one of those 50 really big stock pots at work, and we had an immersion blender that had to be 5 foot tall. You had to get on a ladder to use it, to put it in the pot.
Okay, so that did not take long at all. That took about 10 minutes, and these are fork tender, right? They're easily going in. So this is what, do not try this at home to immersion blender hot food. Grammy, I did a periscope of potato soup, didn't I? And you were on that because you asked for the recipe.
It wasn't potato, she said.
Really? Wonder what it was. Okay, so I'm trying not to get the
Leeks?
Could have been. Okay, so you can, I'm turning the heat way down. So you can, I've left a few chunks in there, but not much. And I put it on low. And that's still kind of thick. That's too thick for me. So I'm going to add a little bit more broth.
Mm-hmm.
And get it to the, and you know, as you let it sit in this pan, the thing that I love about these pans is once they cool, I just put them right into the refrigerator. And oftentimes I will make more than one soup at a time because we eat soup, you know, 2 or 3 times a week. So I, you know, it's always going to thicken up a little bit more when you, when it sits. The other thing is when you use the zoomer, you don't use it too much because it's, don't use it too much because it will make it pasty.
Yes.
So
it was more of the starch.
Yes. So so yes. So don't zoom it too much because you'll get wallpaper paste, and that won't be good. And at this point, if you wanted to add whole milk or sour cream, or you know, whatever your favorite dairy thing was, you could, but I don't think it adds that much to the experience.
Most of the time when I add dairy to a soup, to change the color a little, and it's just to change the consistency just a little bit. It's not changing the flavor, it's changing the mouthfeel a little. And generally, it's a very small amount of dairy that goes in. People think you're using all this milk, but it's stock basically that's making the soup. And you could use the culinary cream too. Like I have one here. So delicious, it's a coconut culinary cream.
Oh, where do you get that?
Well, actually, they gave it to me at a show, and I haven't been able to find it in my stores, but that doesn't mean I haven't looked on Amazon. It's very possible it's on Amazon.
And do you do Thrive or not?
I do. I don't do it as much as Amazon, but I do Thrive. I have not looked on there for it. In fact, I just got a shipment from Thrive yesterday, a nice little gift for last year's conference with Leah, and it was a jar of their label coconut oil and their label marinara sauce.
Oh, that sounds good. Okay, so on the tray, do you remember what I had? So on the tray,
yes,
I have, these are this is the fennel.
Fennel.
And then, so I'm going to take, fennel, onions, carrots, and then this garlic, this whole, oh my God. It's it's gushy.
I got to tell you, I have never roasted a whole bulb like that. Usually I cut the top off, put the oil in it, and wrap it. I've never just put a whole bulb in.
Oh, well, let me show it to you then. Hang on.
I mean, I generally, when I roast it, I break it open in cloves and take all the wrappers off.
Here. I need a new tripod, Chef Dennis.
Huh.
This is my father-in-law gave. Actually, I think he built it out of pieces parts, which is what I love about it. But it's kind of high on the counter. I need him to make me one with legs that are like 12 inches shorter. Okay. All right. So this is just the bulb. Can you see it well enough?
Yeah, you see it.
Okay. And then it's going to have where did it go? It's going to have this stick thing in the middle, and my knife is not going to cut through that. So I'm just going to open it up and bend it just a little bit.
Oh, wow.
And then.
Oh, that looks so good. I love garlic.
It's wonderful. So this is the, can you see it? Because
Yeah.
it's super hot. It's 425 degrees. So that you just peel it right off of the, and then this, what I use with this is I spread it right on bread.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I think I have to have a moment.
I know. That's all right. When I grew up, my grandmother used to cook bones, and my favorite thing was the marrow inside of the bones, and that was like butter. And spread that on bread too. Michael says we all need a moment.
All right. So this is the fennel, and I'm just chopping it up because I want it to look a certain way on the plate or in my bowl. For the kids. Okay. So for the kids, I am chopping the carrots in little tiny circles. And it's just, can you see how beautiful? Let me just.
Oh, I know. The color.
So these are the purple carrots. And the reason why I love roasting them is because they stay purple. They keep their color. So they keep their color, and then they're right next to the orange carrots, right, which everyone understands and loves. And the yellow, the yellow just looks so, just brings the whole combination together. Isn't this like gorgeous? Okay. So, but for mine, I am going to do it a little differently in my bowl. And I've been teaching the kids a lot of knife skills because what I'm doing isn't tricky. You just have to be plugged in to do it.
Yep.
Right. And I think that's getting kids to kind of plug in to what they're doing is sort of an important thing to do these days.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Are we ready?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Now I'm going to put my fennel in the middle. And then I'm going to fan out my carrots like this. And, the kids always tease me a little bit about doing Food Network stuff. Let's set this down here. But it makes it kind of fun, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
And then I've got that fennel top. So I'm just going to stick it in like that. And that's my lunch.
Excellent. That's beautiful. That is beautiful.
I know. Isn't it cute?
Oh, you can also smell it when the steam was coming up. I leaned in to catch a whiff.
So, and how long was that? So that was 45 minutes. And you could make as much of this or as little of this as you want. And the kids actually like their vegetables not on top like this. They actually like their vegetables all intermingled. So I will add that to theirs. And just the flavors, this has the root in it. So this has a deeper flavor than than just their other one of having a celery in it. So probably what I'll do is, since it's just me eating mine and they're eating theirs, they're going to finish up with theirs first, and then they're going to ask if they can have more, and then I'll say, well, you can have it, but it's got the celeriac root in it, so, kind of buck up. And then they eat it and they like it,
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. Okay. How do I learn more about presentation of food? Chef Dennis, you want to take that? I just do what looks pretty.
That's it. That's it.
Mean, if you look at my Instagram photos, you can see that I like colors lined up. Like I like rows of colors. That's what's appealing to me. And I also like starburst, circular patterns. That's what's appealing to me. And then I alternate with then play with color and alternate with color, which is super easy because vegetables are all colors.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's adding things in. And when I would teach the girls, when I was teaching the culinary class, it was all on, why are we putting this in? And they'd all know at that point it's for color. So eating is a visual experience besides the taste, the smell. It's all your senses are coming in. So remember, first thing is, and I just wrote a post about that, I think, that says we eat with our eyes. All right, that's what I was taught early on. We eat with our eyes. So make it visually appealing. And even if it's just visually appealing to you, and then experiment, and then just start coming out of your comfort zone a little bit more.
Right. Because I find when I get really excited about something, the kids get excited about it. Or if when I was, I was always working in the back of the house, but if the front of the house got too busy, it was my job to go out and schmooze and talk about wine and talk, because I was good at that, right? So I really talked up the food, and I could say we've got hot dogs today, and they're the most fabulous hot dogs in the world. We went to the grocery store and bought packages of hot dogs. You're not going to believe this. And people are like, oh, I got to have a hot dog.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do, I could sell people on the most boring food, just because I said, ooh, we made a tear-down reduction, and in an excited way, and they would love it. So I think that if you get excited about your food and you get excited about making healthy food choices and clean eating, and that's what's exciting for me about food is not, I do breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 6 people, 7 days a week, and that can, I can understand why women get to a certain point and then just go to Costco and fill the flippin' freezer because, right? Because it's, it's not exciting anymore. So if you can get excited about one aspect of cooking, I think that you can get excited. You naturally, as soon as you, like we were talking about this last night on a lab, if you can, as soon as you open your heart or open your mind or open your hands, as soon as you become open, you will be filled, and you will see the new possibilities of whatever it is. If you say, oh, great, Renee made potato soup again, well, that your experience may not be that great, but it's you in the process of making the same potato soup, then you switch something up. And because you gain a comfort level with making the soup isn't a challenge anymore. Now the challenge becomes, how can I, spice it up? What bread can I make? So tonight I'm making homemade lavash to go with the bread.
Very good.
So while you're on your show, which is coming up next, what are you making? I'll be making bread.
Cool.
For tonight.
Next week's show is making bread.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I'm doing artisan, no knead bread next week.
Great. Can I do that show with you?
Oh, sure.
Susan I'll be here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be I won't be online. I won't be on air. But wouldn't that be fun? I'll make my bread, and then at the end, I'll come on and show you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have to. It's going to be a process, so I have to have one done. I have to have dough done. Then I have to make the dough. So we'll have bread for a while. I haven't made bread in a while, so that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all about getting excited. And, I hit walls a couple times in my career where I just wasn't motivated. I wasn't having fun anymore. And you need sometimes to find a reason. The first thing was becoming a blogger. That reinvigorated my life. And then when I started doing the shows, that reinvigorated it. And then it's just you find a reason. And it's always better for me when I'm feeding other people. If I'm just feeding myself, I could almost care less what it looks like or what it's done. But when I'm feeding other people, then that's when I become a chef again. And that's when I want to pull out the bells and whistles and make it nice. One of the best experiences I had was I worked in a restaurant and I had a French maitre d'. And he was older. He was retired. And I would walk in the dining room and he would stop everything and goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, the chef." And I was like, oh, okay. The first time he did it, I was thrown back. But every time I'd walk out, he would announce me.
How fun is that?
Yeah, that was fun. I used to feed him very well after that. But he would ask me, and he would do the same thing. He goes, "What do you want to sell?" And he appreciated it because I had learned enough French to speak to him in French. I didn't do it very well, but he appreciated the effort. And then he'd say, "What do you want to sell?" Then I'd hear him out there talking about it. And, just the French accent alone is going to sell something. Right. But he would always push whatever I wanted him to push. It was great.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Well, we're done then? Looks good?
I think we're done. So this recipe will be on the website within the week. So this recipe will be on the website within the week. I will have my show notes that will be available for download PDF for people who want to, get my brain, my cooking brain on a piece of paper. And so that's reneebowdy.com. And hope to see you over at the blog or on Instagram. I post everything so I'll post this on Instagram right now because it's lunchtime and this is going to be my lunch.
Yep.
Oh, Michael, thank you. So yeah. So
very cool.
Stop by, and then I'm going to be watching your show next.
Very good. Yeah, I'm going to do a stuffed rack of lamb.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Now, will you do mint jelly?
No, I don't. I never liked mint jelly. We never had any in the house because my father had a bad experience with it, and I really don't like it anyway. But he had come off the front lines in World War II and saw a big bowl of what he thought was green Jell-O, and turned out to be mint jelly. So, yeah, we never had it in the house after that. It's like we never saw. Not that I wanted it, but we never saw Spam, which was a good thing. There were things that he wouldn't eat cheese because that's all he lived on for a while was Spam and cheese. But mint jelly was a biggie, and I'm not a big. And I'm doing it a little different. Lisa doesn't eat lamb. I really don't eat much lamb almost ever, and I'm doing it a little different. But I used to sell a lot of it in the restaurant, so I'm changing it up just a little bit. Very basic, very very basic. Let the food speak for itself, kind of a recipe. But
nice.
Something that would be fun.
Nice.
Yeah, and I learned a valuable lesson too, which I'll tell them about. I went to buy it at my local grocery store, and I asked for it when they brought it out, and I looked at it and went, "Oh no, I'm going to Sam's Club." It was ridiculously expensive, and actually, I've bought a lot for work at Sam's Club, and it's usually pretty good. It's New Zealand lamb, so it's usually very tender and has a nice mild flavor. So, 2/3 of the cost of buying it at the supermarket.
Oh, that's nice. Our Sam's Club in Michigan, I'm sure there's one here, but I don't go to it. They would have great deals on all their meat, and all their alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
They had not great deals because in Michigan it's set prices, but they had a great selection.
Yeah,
they had a great selection.
Yeah, our Sam's does a good job with stuff. We have another one called BJ's Warehouse, and they do a lot of organics. And then Costco's just blowing things through the roof with organics and healthy foods and different selections. So they're really answering and filling that void for it. I bought some beautiful organic cane sugar there. It just smells so good. It smells like that molasses almost smell to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right,
and everything tastes so different.
Yeah. I got to go get ready for mine. And
Okay.
I will see you later. Have fun. Enjoy your soup. And we'll see you around the kitchen table. Come over to see me at my show in a few minutes. And then Christine's on after me with a cake. She's doing a vegan cake today.
Nice.
Very good.
Okay.
All right. See
Goodbye.
you all later.
Did I tweet this out? I can't get out. I can't get out. There, I'll do that. All right, now how do I get out of here? Why am I not? Okay. Okay.